Hello guys, and welcome back to a new episode. So today I'm going to talk about the Canon C50. Now I'm so much excited about the release of this camera, and I'm going to share my thoughts on this camera, what I think about this camera. I haven't gotten it in my hands yet, but per the reviews that I've seen online and per the spec sheet, I'm just going to share my thoughts on that particular camera. So without wasting much time, let's get into today's video. Now, Canon just released their Canon C50 and it broke the internet. Everybody was kind of looking at what Canon was going to do next, just because some few years ago, Sony released a revolutionary camera, that is the FX3, and it was like Canon was asleep at that point. Everybody since then was waiting to see what Canon could bring after that. Some people thought the R5C could have been that, but the R5C lacks certain qualities that couldn't match up to the FX3. And now Canon has released a camera that, in my opinion, I can say can go toe to toe with the FX3, and that is the Canon C50. Now, with the announcement of that particular camera, personally, I was so much excited because after Sony released the FX3 about 4 years ago, personally, I was waiting for Canon to release something in that range. And we know Canon, and Canon being Canon and being stubborn, they like to release cameras and later on hammer their cameras, or later on put in certain features where it will make people very annoying, just like Apple, what Apple normally does, but Canon does it on a very annoying level, like when they released the Canon R5C, which was a revolutionary camera in my opinion, because it was shot at 8K and it could do RAW internally and all the good stuff, but giving it a small HDMI. Why would you do that? Why will you do that? You understand? But let's put that aside and let's talk about the Canon C50. And ever since then, you now realize that Canon had started releasing cameras with a full-size HDMI. They did it in their R5 II and now the C50, which is a very good thing. I like competition. Don't you like competition? I believe you all like competition, because if Sony hadn't come out with an FX3, I don't think Canon would have ever come out with a mid-range camera like that with a big full-size HDMI. They did it in the Canon C70s, the Canon C80s, the Canon C400s, but they wouldn't have done it in something like R5C Mark II or an R5 Mark II or a Canon R6 Mark III or something like that, which is not out yet. Please don't be typing in the comments right now about the Canon R6 Mark III, which I know is not out yet, but I know the moment that camera comes out, it's also going to have a big full-size HDMI, looking at the trend that is going on. Now back to the Canon C50 and why I'm so much excited about that camera. Now, in my opinion, I believe the FX3 is a revolutionary camera. It's a very good camera. Even today, it still holds its place, even though the Canon C50 is giving it a little bit shake, But in my opinion, one of the major problems I had with the FX3, working with the FX3, was that it was so much cumbersome. Like the menus, like the work around that camera was so much, like, and the colors, I personally, I don't really like Sony colors. Even though I can shoot with it, I can color grade it, but personally, for my personal workflow and how I like to manipulate my image and all that, I feel like there's a limitation when it comes to Sony colors. Now, Kofi Yeboah did a review on the Canon C50 where he tried to color grade an S-Log3 footage and also color grade a C-Log2 footage as well. And if you look at the steps he took to transform the R5C, I don't know why I keep on saying R5C, I just love that camera. The Canon C50, the steps he took to just transform that into a very nice and pleasing image, a Rec 7 good color grade image, and the step he took in also transforming the S-Log 3 file of footage that came out of the FX3. Also, if you look at the steps to get the same image, it actually took a lot of steps for the FX3 to get to a very good image done with the Canon C50. So this is not something that is, we all know that when it comes to Canon and their colors or their color science, it's there. Fine, Sony I've come so far, but personally for like a quick turnaround videos, and the way I shoot, sometimes get in volunteers to help me to shoot, and every time that I give someone a camera or something like an FX3, I need to spend time to actually go through the settings, set it up for them and all that. But in Africa here or in Ghana here, we have so many people shooting on Canon, and because so many of them are familiar with the Canon line, it's easier for them to get around with a Canon camera than with a Sony camera. And one thing I've come to realize about Sony is that the moment you make a mistake, you're going to get a bad image. Trust me, the moment you get something wrong, you're doomed. But sometimes with some of the Canon cameras, even if you're not shooting in log and all that, sometimes you could get away with a very pleasing image. But when it comes to Sony and not shooting in S-Log 3, you're doomed. You're literally doomed. So for me, that is why personally I've been waiting for Canon to bring something like the C50. So I'm so much excited about the C50. I'm just wishing that I can get my hands on a Canon C50 and I can actually shoot a project on that particular camera. So that was my thought. I think it's a very good camera. I think Canon really did well, but it's a long awaited camera. This camera should have come out like about 2 or 3 years ago, but all the same as here, so we are happy about it and we are hoping to get our hands on it, and we can literally shoot with that camera and experience that camera and it's full-fledged. So that will be my thoughts on the Canon C50, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. So without wasting much time, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Let's go.